Ambassador Satterfield met with officials from the government of Egypt and the government of Israel today in Israel to negotiate the exact modalities by which we can implement the agreement that the president secured. So over the coming days, I think what you will see, can't get into the exact timing, but we expect it to be implemented soon, details for humanitarian aid to go in. And of course, if Rafah Gate is open to allow humanitarian aid to go in, we will be trying to get out the American citizens who are in Gaza who want to leave.
Being allowed to go through the crossing, is it sort of limited to that, and then the crossing will close, or is the plan to sort of open it indefinitely?
We want to see sustained humanitarian assistance going into Gaza for the benefit of innocent civilians. The exact discussions about how we implement that are exactly what Ambassador Satterfield is engaged in right now, so I wouldn't want to get ahead of those discussions, but it is our intention, our goal, and what we're working to secure is ongoing assistance to innocent civilians.
Why has it been so hard to get the Israelis to agree? You know,
the concern the Israeli government has, and they've said this publicly, and they certainly said it privately to us, is that any assistance that goes in will be diverted once it's inside Gaza. That there's not an Israeli military force in Gaza. There's not a UN peacekeeping force in Gaza. The people with guns inside Gaza are Hamas, and so Hamas may try to divert this assistance and keep it from getting to the civilians who it is intended for. We think that's a legitimate concern. We've made clear that this aid needs to go to innocent civilians and not Hamas. We're going to be watching very carefully how it's delivered because we want to be sensitive to those concerns, which we share.
So you do.
What kind of protection is the United States willing to give the Palestinian civilian?
We have made very clear that we strongly support Israel's right to defend itself. We are going to continue providing the security assistance that they need to defend themselves. We think they have a right, not only a right, but an obligation to defend themselves against these terrorist attacks. I think any country would do that. But the president and the secretary have spoken to this very clearly, that we expect Israel to abide by all international law as they defend themselves. And we'll continue to work with them to ensure that they meet the highest standards. Go ahead.
Have you seen any measure by the Israeli assault thus far where it has actually taken the protection of Palestinians into consideration, a measure?
I would say a few things about that. Number one, we thought it was very unfortunate that that resolution did not recognize Israel's right to defend itself in the face of these terrorist attacks. We think that is an important principle. I'm going to go back to what I said a minute ago, which is that Israel just suffered a massive terrorist attack, something that is 10 to 15 times the impact of 9/11 when you look at it on a per capita basis. Any country would defend it. Saeed, let me. I'm gonna answer. I'll give you a follow up where you can make your point or answer your question. Any country would defend itself in those situations. The other reason we exercise that veto is there is ongoing diplomatic work about this very question right now, the work that Ambassador Satterfield is conducting, the work that others in the region are conducting to try to establish areas where civilians can be safe from harm. With that work ongoing and with a resolution that did not exercise Israel's right to defend itself, we thought this step we took was the appropriate one. Go ahead.
So, in your view, what is Israel's end game? The trajectory for, the next few days and so on. What is, in your view, what is Israel's end game, or what should it be? Because you obviously are in talks with